Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to a brand new video and some more F1 2020 My Team career mode here today. Once again, we are back, and this time it's the Austrian Grand Prix here today, round 11 of the season, and pretty much what marks the halfway point, give or take. Now, if you guys missed the last episode, go check it out, guys, for the French Grand Prix. I will leave it linked up here in the top right-hand corner of your screen. But today, guys, we are here at the Red Bull Ring, one of the tracks that I quite enjoy on the calendar, actually. Only 10 corners, extremely challenging, and a 1 minute lap. It's literally that quick. But, guys, really quickly, if you're going to enjoy the video, drop me a like, subscribe if you're new, clicking the red button below the video, and let's get this episode underway. Here we are then once again in the laptop. You can see on screen right now, no rain expected this weekend, which is great news for us. In terms of the R&D graph, Renault take a massive jump forward heading into this weekend, and they've closed the gap, and they are now the 5th quickest team, but they are right behind Ferrari, Racing Point, and Red Bull. We also have some big upgrades of our own on the way, and hopefully once they all arrive, we should take a big step forward as well, and hopefully close the gap to Renault and to those top teams. But we now move into practice here this weekend at the Red Bull Ring in Austria, and again, I'm looking forward to it. It's a track that I enjoy. We went pretty well here last year, and also in general, we're on a really good run of form. The last race in France was a bit tricky. It was a bit rough, but France aside, if you look at the previous races, we've had 3 podiums in 4, or technically 3 in our last 5 if you include France. So the pace is looking good. After practice, we went quickest as well, which means we are going to hit the goal bonus for our sponsors, which means we should get a nice bit of cash influx at the end of the episode. And also, you see, in terms of R&D points, we get a combined 700, give or take, between myself and Mick Schumacher as a combined total, and also some very small marginal gains on the team acclaim heading into qualifying. But before we do that, we're going to change the engine, because last weekend I forgot to do that in France, but this weekend we're not making the same mistake, and for the first time ever we are running a complete Spec 2 engine. Before, it was Spec 2 in all areas except for energy store and control electronics. This weekend we are running a full Spec 2 engine, and hopefully we should be able to try and get these components to the end of the season now, and do some changes whenever we need to. Fingers crossed it works out that way. But here we are then, it's qualifying time. It's it's time to get down to business, and it's time to get down and dirty. So here we go, Q1, first run of the session, and I can't lie, guys, the car pace was really good. Both myself and Mick were really competitive, and being completely honest, this was the only lap I did in Q1, because the lap was more than good enough to go into Q2, and you'll see now as we cross the line, it was actually a pretty good benchmark to hit, and from our first lap in qualifying, it was quite competitive. A 1 minute 2.3. We're going to struggle to beat that, to be honest with you, on a good lap. So a really good first lap in qualifying. We go P12. Mick Schumacher scrapes through in P16. So things looking very good for us. And to be fair, a nice bit of pace in our pocket compared to our rivals. So things are looking very positive as we now head into Q2. This was my first of 2 runs. Both of these runs on fresh tyres. This first lap wasn't perfect, there was a bit more time to find, but still a very competitive lap nonetheless. We go a 1 minute 2.3, or sorry, 0.2 once again, so slightly quicker than our Q1 attempt, but there was a better lap in it, and this lap right here was my best lap in Q2. We're currently P10. Will we progress into Q3? We're about to find out. Let's go for a full lap here of the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg for the Austrian Grand Prix. Here we go out of the final corner, opening the DRS, and we're going to improve to a 1 minute 2.1, which is much better. We move up to 8th place, but I think that should be good enough. Yes, it is. There we go. Surprisingly, nobody actually improved behind us, so that lap was really, really good. And Mick Schumacher does get knocked out in 13th place, so he doesn't quite make it into Q3. But the pace on our car looks very, very good as we now move into Q3. And this again was my first run. This one was actually on used tyres, run number 1. This was the setup I believe I used in Q1. And it wasn't the best lap, a little bit scruffy. We set a 1 minute 2.3, which is pretty much the exact same time we set in Q1. But luckily for us, we did have one more set of the fresh soft compound tyres, and we're going to see what this lap is like. It's going to be an all or nothing lap. We're currently P9, probably P10 at the end of it, so let's see if we can get anything out of this. The target is to try and beat our Q2 time of a 1 minute 2.1. Let's get into it. And here we go, out the final corner, getting the power down, opening up the DRS as we run up to the line. What is the lap going to be, and do we get off the bottom of the table? And we go P9. Not ideal. I thought we'd have a bit more than that, to be fair, but unfortunately the pace wasn't quite there. We was actually marginally slower than our Q2 lap. I think 2,000 slower than our Q2 lap. So pretty much that just goes to show we maximised qualifying and got everything out of the car. So in the end, P8 to be fair. Actually, I just realised we got promoted to P8. So maybe some kind of bug there possibly on the positions. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but in the end, 8th place. I'll take that. So all in all, a decent qualifying. Q3 once again. We're now going to move into an interview, and then we're going to move into the race.
Are you happy with where you'll be on the grid tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm ecstatic. The car was great, and you know, it's good to be as high up as possible to score those big points.
How do you feel the competition is for you this season?
Great. I think everyone's been on their game this year, and it's really, really competitive out there on the grid, to be honest.
Appreciate your time.
And finally, before we jump into the race, you can see the rivalry breakdown. We do lose a point to Sebastian Vettel, and we're now just 21-20 versus Sebastian, so it's getting very close, and it's going to go right down to the wire. We have this race and one more to go, so it's going to be really, really close. In terms of acclaim, we gain hardly nothing ourselves, but Mick does gain a little bit, and also as a team, we slowly progress up the ladder as we're now on our way to level 18 with a 50% combined acclaim boost. But guys, that's it for qualifying. We're now going to move into the race for round 11, the Austrian Grand Prix.
This is it then, race day in Spielberg for this year's Austrian Grand Prix. The grandstands were a sea of red in 2019 thanks to the commemorative hats in honour of the late great Niki Lauda, who took home victory of course back in 1984. And it's a sellout crowd once again here today. It's one of the shortest laps on the calendar today then, with 7 rights and just 3 lefts, making up the 10 corners of this high-speed circuit. Turn 2 is barely a corner at all. They'll be flat out through there, a left-hand kink into the uphill braking zone of turn 3. Turns 1, 3 and 4 are all potential opportunities to overtake. And I'm joined once again by Anthony Davidson to bring you the lowdown for today's race. Let's talk about Martinez. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
It's been a really solid year so far. There have been some incredible standout performances, but what's really impressed me has been the consistency. With this kind of form, I'm expecting another great race today.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Verstappen, Sergio Perez, and Vettel, Ricciardo, Martinez, Stroll, and Alexander Albon, Giovinazzi, Gasly, Mick Schumacher, and Raikkonen, Sainz, Norris, Daniel Kvyat, and Esteban Ocon, Grosjean, Russell, Magnussen, and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
It's game time here at Austria, guys, starting from 8th place on the grid. We are starting on the soft compound tyres, so I feel like we've got a good chance in terms of maybe being aggressive at the start and getting a few places early on. And then the strategy is going to make us go on to the hard compound tyres. We could try and stretch it to mediums. We'll see how the tyres feel. So around lap 10 to 12, we'll make a decision. If the tyre still feels good, we'll try and stretch it to a medium tyre. If it's not feeling so good, we'll just stick to the original hard compound tyre. Either way, I'm looking forward to it, guys. I think we've got a strong chance of scoring some big points here today. And I'm going to try and be aggressive on the soft tyre, try and make it work, gain a few places and mix it up with the big boys. And then it's all about, damage limitation, trying to hold on to the positions and just trying to see if we can score as many points as possible, really. Fuel-wise, I'm running 1 lap extra. And yeah, overall, that is the strategy for today's race. So let's jump into it and let's get the race underway. Fingers crossed it's a good one, and fingers crossed Mick Schumacher can also score points in the second car. Right then, here we go. Let's get the revs built up to about 11-ish thousand. Lights out and away we go. Oh, what a start. Absolutely insane. Oh my goodness me, unbelievable start. We've gone from the inside back to the outside. Now around the outside of turn 1 on Perez. Oh my god, we made up 3 places off the start, and there could be a few more here. Verstappen, we're right on his gearbox as we go over towards turn number 3. We're going to go to the outside here. Oh, we have to avoid the Mercedes, otherwise it would have been contact. Verstappen's a bit slow though, on traction out of there, and it's going to be side by side with the Red Bull. We've recovered nicely. What a start. We're going to move across and take P4 from Max Verstappen. Oh my goodness me. What an unbelievable start to the race on the soft tyres. That's exactly what I said about the softs. We're going to be really competitive at the start. Try and be aggressive and use them. But I can't believe the get-up we've just had. The grip off the start line was just perfect. Like, we got the revs, everything absolutely spot on, and we're in 4th place already in this Grand Prix. Let's see if we have some kind of pace to kind of compete with these guys. I think Verstappen eventually will get past, but for now, let's see if we can stay here and mix it up with the fast guys. What a first lap. Unbelievable. Guys, we're hanging in there at the minute. The pace is strong.
DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
We've got DRS on Lewis in front of us here, which is really, really good for us in terms of staying competitive. Perez is 1.5 behind. It looks like him and Verstappen are trying to hang on to me here, but at the minute, we are absolutely flying. This pace is legit, and we're competing at the minute. Stop behind Lewis and Leclerc. Let's see if we can keep this going. But the gap to Verstappen now is just over a second after turn 3. Oh my god, new fastest lap from us. That's insane. This is really, really unbelievable. I did not expect this. I just don't know where this has come from. I thought we'd have a good start, but I didn't think we'd have legit race pace. We've now got over a second gap to Verstappen. Leclerc and Hamilton are battling each other here for second place, and we're lurking in the background to try and pick up the pieces. This is really just not what I had in mind, but I'm not complaining. This has been an insane race so far. Let's see if Hamilton goes for a move on Leclerc here. Look at this, side by side into turn 3. One of them is going to get a poor exit. Let's see who it is. Looks like it's Leclerc. Hamilton's probably got the move done, although to be fair, Leclerc has DRS. But look at this. We're now getting in on the action here. We're going to go to the outside. Can we get it slowed down? We go around the outside of Hamilton here at turn 4. We get past Leclerc. We don't quite get Lewis, but we are up into 3rd place. Unbelievable. I'm running out of superlatives, but what a race this is. I'm really, really enjoying this. The car feels great. It feels competitive. And it seems like we've got genuine straight line speed as well, which is really, really helpful for us in terms of staying competitive and staying ahead of cars, not just overtaking them. Let's see if we can stick with Lewis. He's now pulled the pin in the Mercedes. Can we hang on to his DRS? That's going to be the real challenge here. If we do, we are really in this race. We are in the mix for a podium if we can hang on to Lewis Hamilton here. It's getting very dark here all of a sudden. There wasn't no rain forecast, but maybe we could have a bit of a drizzle here. Let's find out on the radio.
No threat of rain for the time being. Conditions looking good. Dries seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
Okay, just a bit of overcast conditions. That's okay. We're hanging in there, boys. Lewis pulls away a little bit through that section, through those 2 corners, but we claw it all back over the rest of the lap. So the pace is really, really good. And we're sticking with the DRS quite comfortably, actually. Leclerc is trying, but he just can't get close enough to me on the straights. What a race so far. Only 8 laps in. Yeah, the tyre wear is definitely kicking in, so obviously running at this kind of pace is going to make the tyre wear higher than what was predicted, so in that sense we're going to have to probably just go into the hard tyres, but I don't mind. We're really competitive as it is right now, so I'm just focused on a lap by lap basis. I'm just looking at the race and trying to stick with Lewis Hamilton here, because we're actually catching Bottas slightly in the process, which is really, really good. I'm able to save a bit of fuel as well, which I like. It feels like the AI just starting to pick up their pace now. I'm also struggling to maintain it. Hamilton's starting to pull the pin and I can't quite keep up. Leclerc's putting pressure on. The good news is behind Verstappen there's nobody, so a gap is starting to form, and that's giving us a cushion so we could fall potentially into 5th place in this race, even if the faster guys get by, which I really, really like. I've right on Lewis's gearbox right now, but I'm losing so much now through these next few corners. It's just starting to hurt us quite badly. I just get so much understeer and just lack of front end grip generally. I just can't quite follow anymore, and that puts Leclerc right on my gearbox through this section. I just got to make sure I don't drop out of Lewis's DRS range, and I'll be okay. Looking at the tyre wear, it is looking like we are going to have to box this lap. 52% left rear. We could go longer, stretch it to mediums, but we'd have to go at least lap 16, 4 more laps. And the fact is, once Lewis pits, we're going to become really uncompetitive. So I'm probably going to just pit, to be honest, and stick with Lewis. Well, I'll say that Lewis makes a bit of a mistake. I think it's the best option. Okay, we're going to pit for the hard compound tyres. So into the pit lane we go. We might just hold up Leclerc here a little bit, but we're going to continue on. Everyone else seemingly staying out. I wonder if they're all going to go for the mediums. We're going to go for the hards though, and just play it safe. I could have gone further, but left rear was going quite a lot, 56%. That was 4% that lap alone, and that was even a full lap. So I think this is a safe option. Here we go.
Go, go, go.
2.2. We'll take that. We're on the way.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
Loads of cars through turn 1 here. I'm trying to see if I can get up to speed. Don't want to lose many places. I want to try and lose as least as possible if I can avoid it. Let's see if we can get a few back here. Down the inside of Ocon and Norris straight away. Oh, geez, that's a loss of grip if I've ever seen one. Pushing on cold tyres, that's what happens. Kvyat and Raikkonen up ahead. Hopefully they go for hards. If they go for mediums, we could be in trouble in the second stint. So we've got to make these laps count on the fresh rubber. Okay, Schumacher pits. A couple other cars in there as well. We're going to go for this move on Kvyat here into turn 1. I was going to go around the outside, but I thought about it. I'm going to go for the move into turn 3 instead. Here we go. We've got a lot more straight line speed than the AlphaTauri, so we should be able to breeze past. I wonder if we can get the Alpha too, if we get the traction out of here. There we go, lovely stuff. We should be able to breeze past Raikkonen and get past. He has got a Ferrari engine, but that should have been too much to us. And the outside we go. Kimi trying to hang on, but we're through. Just about. He's keeping his nose in, but there we go, we're through. Right, P10 back into the points after our pit stop. Let's push on. Big lap coming up here. We need to really make sure we keep on the pace. Sebastian Vettel in the pit lane. He's gone for the medium tyres. Perez as well. Hamilton, Verstappen all on mediums. We have pulled off an undercut, it looks like, and we've got ahead of Hamilton. Hamilton seems to have been held actually because Verstappen is ahead of him. So the undercut has worked. We're now in a net P2, but on the hard compound tyres. So we are going to be at a big disadvantage because, you know, the car's not that quick anyway, but if you add on the tyre deficit, we're going to be up against it here. And there we go, the remaining soft tyre runners are in the pit lane, or at least most of them. I think someone stayed out further ahead. Bottas and Leclerc onto mediums now. There is Bottas up ahead, so we've closed the gap significantly as Giovinazzi stays out in the Alpha. So Hamilton now down to a net P5. But we're going to have a big tyre disadvantage here in this stint. And there we go, Giovinazzi in the pit lane. So that is it. We're now back to second place.
Incident has been cleared. Let's get back up to racing speed.
Yellow flag behind. Someone's had an issue. Will there be a safety car or VSC? Let's find out. At the moment now, we're trying to hold on and keep the faster cars behind. It helps that Verstappen is the next car behind because the Honda, of course, isn't the best engine, so we should be able to keep Verstappen at bay. If it was Leclerc, it'd be a bit trickier, but for now, I'm quite happy like this. Still waiting for confirmation though on that retirement to see who that was. We're still hanging on at the minute. Verstappen can't get near me. I'm getting perfect exits out of every single corner, and I'm just getting that ERS deployment absolutely on point. We've still got plenty of fuel left, although slowly we are just starting to run it down a little bit, but we're comfortable here at the moment. And also we still have the fastest lap as well, which is even more surprising. I thought we would have lost that by now, but we've still got it, which is absolutely insane. So at the moment things are looking good, but we've still got a long way to go yet. 16 laps until the finish line. We're only barely over halfway. Ooh, Leclerc puts a move on Verstappen, or at least tries to. They're battling now. This is good news for us. So they give us a chance to pull away. Hopefully it continues. Charles Leclerc, new fastest lap. He takes that away from us. He's pushing now. He's got past Verstappen and he feels quick. This is going to be tricky now because we know how fast the Ferrari engine is. Leclerc getting much closer already. Luckily for us, they were pretty good into turn 4 on the brakes and also traction here. Although to be fair, this time we don't quite get the traction down. Looks like we've still got enough of a gap. Yes, we have. So we'll be okay for now, but this is going to be a lot harder. That Ferrari's so damn quick on the straights. Leclerc is right on my gearbox. He's literally just following me so closely. He's got so much more pace. Now he's got past Verstappen. He really wants this overtake.
We're not going to be able to run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target. Drop down to mix too soon.
I thought he was going to go for it there into turn 1. He didn't quite commit though. Will he go for it into turn 3? I don't think he's close enough for now, so we should be able to hang on. But this is going to be a very, very tough one to handle this. Tyres are also not feeling great currently. This last couple of laps just lost a bit of performance. Hopefully they'll come back to me later on. I'm kind of waiting for when the mediums start to drop off and we get the advantage of being on the hard tyres. Hopefully that will take some pressure off us later on in the race. But for now we've got to try and survive the next 5-6 laps. Leclerc's very close here. Closer than ever. Verstappen's just dropped off a little bit, although Leclerc makes a bit of a mistake into turn 1, I think, but he's still right on my gearbox. I'm trying to save ERS because there will be a point where I use it all up in one lap to defend. I know I will. The AI traditionally always save everything and push really hard in the last couple of laps because they're coded to go for the fast lap of the race, which, you know, takes a lot of energy from the engine. So they're always saving it up until the last 3 laps, which is why I'm trying to save mine because I know I'm going to be in a big battle in about 3 to 4 laps time. Oh, got loose there. That's a big moment for me. Here comes Charles Leclerc. I'm going to let him go by for now. We'll try and nick some DRS and
Condition is still looking good.
maybe get him back. And see if we can do that. Here we go. DRS open, overtake mode. Looks like we are going to get him back here. Look at the speed we have on the straight. We're really competitive. Into turn 3, quite wide. Going to have to get the switch back. We get the power down beautifully out there. Although I think Leclerc has DRS, so we're going to have to swipe back across. But we do, luckily for us, get the good exit. Leclerc going for it around the outside of turn 4. We hold him off for now, but this battle is not done yet. Here comes Leclerc. He's going for it. Down the inside of turn 9. We're side by side. I'm trying to hang in there, leave him some room through the final corner. We do get the better drive. And we're going to hang on for now, but Leclerc's not done yet. Here he comes again.
Ricardo, they're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Here comes Max. There's contact. Oh, we've got wing damage. That's not good. Here comes Lewis. Big moment in the race. Wing damage for us. Lewis going through in the Mercedes. We're going to try and hang back. Oh, I'll do that. We get no momentum at all. And suddenly it's all gone wrong. Second place has converted to P5, and with wing damage now, we'll be lucky to hang on to this. We've got 10 seconds in our pocket to the cars behind, but this could get scruffy. Looks like Hamilton's got himself back up onto the podium. Let's see what the grip is like with the wing damage. Oh, this is painful. This is very painful. We're going to have to try and nurse this home. There's no way I'm pitting now. We'd be giving away a P5. We've just got to try and push on and try and make it work. I think we should be okay. Perez has got the gap down to 7 seconds, which isn't enough. So we're looking good for P5 here today. So I'm just going to focus on bringing this one home, really. And hopefully we'll still score a big chunk of points. Here we go then, last lap of the race. And in the end, it's disappointing, but at the same time, we've got to be realistic. P5, I would have taken that at the start of the race. But the fact we was in second and in third for so long the entire race. It's such a shame we couldn't quite make it work. Strategy was good, even though the hard tyre wasn't ideal, but at the end you can see the left rear 65%. It just seems like we had higher tyre wear than everybody else here today. Bottas with yet another win, and we're going to come through with some wing damage for a P5, and I'll take that. That is a great result, not complaining.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Yet another historic win under their belts. Well done to the team at Mercedes. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
Right guys, so looking at the final race results, Valtteri Bottas picks up the win for Mercedes here today. Hamilton gets second, making it a 1-2 for the Silver Arrows. Bottas with the fastest lap here today. Max Verstappen third for Red Bull ahead of Charles Leclerc in fourth. We finish in P5 in the end with wing damage ahead of Sergio Perez, Daniel Ricciardo, Lance Stroll, Pierre Gasly and Antonio Giovinazzi rounding out the top 10. Esteban Ocon P11 ahead of Kimi Raikkonen. Mick Schumacher finishes P13, so exactly where he started. Lando Norris P14, Kvyat 15th ahead of Sainz, Vettel P17 for Ferrari, and then Grosjean, Albon, Russell, Magnussen all a lap down with Latifi out of the race. In terms of what that race means for the driver standings, we still hang on to third place. Sebastian Vettel, of course, scored no points today, so we extend our lead over him, but the gap to Hamilton and Bottas is massive. But the good news is we're hanging in there, and also Mick Schumacher stays in P14 as well, so in the end, not much of a loss for us. We also remain in third place in the Constructors, and actually, we extend our lead over racing points slightly, so actually, in the end, a good day in the office, so really, really good. Red Bull overtake AlphaTauri for P5, and yeah, guys, that is it for the race here at Austria. We're now going to move into the laptop.
You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy?
Well, I think first and foremost, the start was really, really good. It was one of the best starts I've ever had. In terms of the race in itself, I think the car was able to hold on really nicely. I think the engine was absolutely superb today, and that's credit to them.
Your team must be ecstatic with how you're performing.
I hope so. You know, we're doing a good job, but obviously all round we have to do better. You know, I think we can improve always. You know, we are on the ascendancy, you could say, but we've got to do better. And yeah, we can't get complacent. We've got to keep pushing.
It wasn't the cleanest race today, was it?
No, but you know, it's one of those things. No person wants to back down. Simple as that.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Okay then, so after the race, looking at the rivalry breakdown, somehow, even after that disaster and a bit of incidents here and there, we are still 1 point ahead of Sebastian Vettel with one race remaining now. In terms of acclaim, we gain a pretty decent amount all round, and as a team we make steady progress towards level 18, so things are looking pretty good in that regard. And also in terms of cash, we are going to hit, I believe, all of our targets, but there is going to be a small deduction, I believe, due to, of course, the front wing damage in the race, as you'll see there. So there you go, there's confirmation, 50k in damages, so yeah, we don't get the full bonus payout, but that's okay. Generally, it's been a good day at the office, and we're now well above $6 million. Okay, so it's time to renew some sponsors, guys, and I'm very happy with the ones I've got. I am going to have a look, though, at some other options, because I feel like we could do better. So I'm going to have a quick look and see what the best options are moving forward. I've got to be honest, straight away, DSB Optics looks very, very tasty indeed. 338k on the bonus just to get a top 10 finish in the race, and we're in the points every single race now, so straight away we're going to sign them, and then it's all about adding another sponsor, because DSB Optics will give me a great deal when I had to take it. So I'm going to look at some other options and see what we come up with. I can't lie, we can't go away from Sudo. You know, 486,000 as a bonus just to achieve the fastest lap in any session. We have to stick with Sudo because that's a ridiculous amount of money. But the total income now is going to be 1.46 million, and that is weekly. So we're really, really racking in the cash. But we're done with that. We're now going to move over to R&D. So first and foremost, a minor engine upgrade has arrived onto the car. Let me see if I can find it. It was this one here, the valve timing. That one just arrived onto the car, so that's good news. Now we're going to look elsewhere. So I'm tempted to add some more engine upgrades. You know, Spa and Monza are not too far away, and it would be a quite nice addition. The issue is we don't have enough R&D points for a major upgrade, so maybe for now a minor one would suffice. So before we buy that, I'm going to quickly purchase the fouled durability upgrade, which shouldn't cost much. There we go. And we're then going to buy the engine power upgrade here. So that's going to help us out a little bit, and that should arrive soon. And then we're going to save the rest of our points, the 93 points we have left over. And you can see in the progress chart, we've got quite a few things going on. So hopefully once all of these arrive, we should take a big step forward. But with that done, we're now going to assign some activities, or should I say that? First of all, we've got to renegotiate because Schumacher's contract is up. Okay, you know what? I'm going to stick with him. I'm going to be honest. He's had a good couple of races. Not Austria specifically, but you know the two before that, Canada and France were good. He's got good points so far, and I'm going to stick with him until the end of the season. 73 rated. I don't mind staying with him. Let's negotiate a deal and let's see what we get. So he wants 6.3 million. Well, what should we go for? It's interesting. He does demand 6, so we'll try 6 million. Let's see if he accepts 6 million. Come on, Mick. Accept it. There we go. Right, okay. Job done. He'll take 6 million. Lovely stuff. Okay, so we're sticking with Mick Schumacher until the end of the season. So again, you know, we're keeping some stability, which is important. So let's go and assign some activities. We've got quite a few days, actually, until the next race. So let's have a look. We've got vehicle PR filming. That would be quite nice, to be fair, to help out the team acclaim. It would knock the department morale a little bit, which is not ideal. A funded team event. Okay, you know what? We'll do this one, and then we'll do this one to counteract it, and then we'll go for 2 days of simulator training. So one counteracts the other, basically. That should help us out. So let's skip ahead, and let's get into the next race. There we go then. The next race is going to be Silverstone. All the upgrades have arrived, so you can see we've only got the engine one in progress. We've overtaken Alfa Romeo and Alfa Tauri now, and we're pretty close to Renault, you can see on screen. And to be fair, this graph hasn't updated yet, but you can see on this one on the right-hand side, we are ahead of both of those teams, and we should be pretty close to Renault, so things are looking very positive heading into the team's home race and my home race at Silverstone. But guys, if you enjoyed the video, drop me a like, subscribe if you are new for daily F1 2020 content, guys, whether it be driver career mode or my team career mode, and have the notifications turned on, guys, to not miss out on any of that content. And also finally, guys, on screen right now you have the previous episode along with the entire playlist so far, so if you haven't seen all the episodes, go check them out, guys. But that is it from me here today, and I'll see you all next time for the British Grand Prix. But until then, it's goodbye from me.